Hey there, I am JB, and for today I will explain you why we are starting Season 3 in the next episode on a complete new map and on a complete different way, which should involve you guys just like in Season 1, and I will explain you about this and more in a minute. First, we should take a look at Season 1 and 2 and what the differences are and why Season 2 misses the magic of Season 1. And so we be here at the very first island after I completed the tutorial. Did I have any plans for this island? No, I absolutely had no plans. All I knew is that I wanted to have an island that looked like a horseshoe, which has a very nice bay in the middle and one side to come in. I had a couple of tiny little ideas what I wanted, like a house in the back with some kind of a garage with all the workshops in there, of course a trader, and or make a new ship beside the junk ship that you can see over there. And so, slowly but surely, I started to learn the game once again, which I already played the game one time before that, and you guys gave me small little tips now and then on the episodes, and I've just enjoyed it. I had no restrictions, I could just do whatever I wanted, and once you guys had a tip I could look at it, or an idea I could look at it, and just add it to my work. Now, all honesty, I've been building this beautiful house down here, and at some point I felt like, you know, this house doesn't belong on this spot right down here. Sure, I could have made like a road and another house further ahead, and maybe a whole city and this and that, but for some reason I wanted to move away from this spot and start somewhere new. And I guess one of the other reasons why I really wanted to go to a new island is because every time I spawn into this map, I spawn out here and I had to go all the way right down here, which is quite some time to travel. Which in this case, I've always been saying, if you're not happy with something, you need to do something about it. And I'll also guess if you don't feel well, other people can tell, and it will be less fun for them too. So in this case, this is the second map, and in the second map, I spawn out here and I could go to my home base right down here, which saved so much time. And this is how it looks like. Now we get into it. So on this island, once again, I did not have any team in mind. I just arrived on the island and then I just start building a storage area. Or a ship. It is nice to be back again down here. This was the absolute legendary Season 1 island, where there are a couple of things which made it so much fun. Like I've been saying, I didn't have any team in mind. I could basically do whatever I wanted and add small little ideas and, you know, details to the map. I mean, I enjoy detailing so much, just drop down a lot of trash. I enjoyed getting you guys' idea into this map because that was a big thing. I did streams where we actually been building things together, and not just building things together. You guys have also been making some very cool, awesome little assets that I could place in here, which makes it all so much more fun. And yes, I have so much interior buildings, which is also a lot of fun. I will talk about it, why I stopped doing that. Oh man, this was cool, this was awesome, and I think the whole medieval plan was actually a fun idea, and I think having another person come onto the map and, you know, make his or her part of the idea was also fine. But I guess medieval has so much limitations if it's about creativity /ish, and you need to be very accurate with the buildings. Because that is all you're going to get. You're not going to get graffiti on the wall. You're not going to get neon lamps. You're not going to get trash on the floor. You're not going to get so much things that you're not going to get. While on this island, it's basically modern-ish, but there are also no limitations. I mean, we have this Christmas. Would Christmas be a part of medieval? Maybe. Maybe. A Lego store? No. A garage, which is unfinished, but no. How about some segways and a homeless guy that has been living down here? Not really. Sure, you had homeless people, but how about the Aldi supermarket? man, this was... Look at all this stuff. This was so nice. All the little ideas and creativity that I could be adding to the map because I had no limitations. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I've been saying, this whole medieval stuff, having another person trying to battle to me, maybe add in a little bit of fantasy, would have been a good idea. But it does bring limitations. While if I don't choose a team, oh god, I can just go ham. Make a little hut for children where they play into the woods. Having like a little vacation resort and a tiki bar and a front desk where people need to, I guess, log in for those little houses, whatever to call it. Ah man, I want to do this again. This was so much fun. Now, you might wonder, JB, why did you stop Season 1 on this island? Well, basically, the FPS is now better, but when I kind of stopped this, it was basically the FPS that was getting really heavy, and there are also a lot of crabs everywhere, which also doesn't really help. And yes, long story short, there was so much more that I wanted to do with this map. We were building a theme park on a dock. I wanted to have beach chairs and beach balls and so much stuff more around in this area, which would have been amazing. And yes, California, those wildfires are crazy. We even have like the developer's office down here. We had some more stuff from people like this from JD, and we've been building that building on Steam, which was a lot of fun. Just random stuff. And I'll guess this is something where I have kind of started to learn my team. Just do whatever you want. Just make an all-in team. Which in the first place, I have been thinking about doing it again. I was an all-in team. It was apocalyptic. It was medieval. And honest, when I started Planet Coaster 2, I kind of kept in mind I wanted to do an all-in. I want to make the outside area basically slashes the same and then have indoors tiny little spots where things are different. Where I can create different kind of teams. So I'm not restricted to one kind of thing, which can be exhausting over time. Now don't get me wrong, there are some people who are extremely good at keeping it with one kind of team. Team donators. The very first people. Oh yes, and this basement down here, we have the tasting room for all kinds of wines and spit buckets. Look at this table. This is not made by me, this is made by other people. People really had way more interaction with the series. So you can kind of guess what I'm trying to say here is I just want to do the same thing again. I want to have freedom. I want to do whatever I want with ideas and involvement of you guys, little builds here and there. I forgot we kind of made like a wildlife theme park over there. Man, I feel already joy being here and to see what we all created down here. Alone or together, right? Ah, yeah, with this upper part down here, where you can look at animals down there. This is crazy. Now, of course, there is one other thing that I really look at all the crabs everywhere. I want to do really different. I actually would like to have even more power, more freedom, and more assets, more options. That is basically by doing Season 3 in an editor map. We can spawn ourselves in and just walk around like I did in this. The only thing that is different here is that I don't have to sail for hours. I can just use anything I would like to from the assets and a lot of extra. I can use glow, I can even do a tiny bit of scripting. I can just plop down you guys builds without having to worry, oh, I need to get this little resource or that special asset or anything that would require me a lot more work, right? It would kind of still be the same as this. And I even got terrain tools where I can just create my own shaped island without having to spend hours upon hours upon hours digging the terrain, removing trees and planting trees, colorizing trees, and get so much more space and room to just, yeah, okay. So in this case it's clear. Let's get back to season 2. And so we be here in the beautiful extra rainy Montanal, which, you know, if you play adventure mode and you have like a base in the tropical, you need to go to this map. It's okay to have a bit of rain because you're more happier and you appreciate it more once you're back and have the nice weather, right? Now, of course, before I could actually do something, I had to take the middle of the map and I had to clean everything from trees, rocks and whatnot, so it would look later on like a ginormous battlefield. Then I decided on the opposite island, let's just first start off with a dock. Which I am also going to be honest, the more I wanted to do with islands, the more shortcuts I was trying to find in order to save me a lot of time, right? And like I've been saying before, there are certain items that needs extra attention to get or need more work to get. You need to do more trading, you need to do more random encounters and that kind of stuff. And I try actually to save myself from needing items that are hard to get, which also limits the possibility to detail, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. But sure, we started off good. We have like a nice dock. I created this like cliffside, which was a nice idea. I created like cannon sides. I had all kinds of fun things. I made like a very beautiful crane. I started to, you know, make the whole wall, which kind of turned repetitive at some point. And the thing that angers me the most, or better to say frustrated me the most, was this weather. And at this point I had to sleep, wake up, eat, sleep, wake up, repeat. I had to do this over and over and over again, which is just very frustrating while you're trying to, you know, entertain, record. It cannot be dark all the time and lightning and storming and which takes a lot of the joy away, right? And like I've been saying before, if you're not happy with something, you need to leave. But at this kind of state, I was already, you know, building so much stuff, having so much ideas. Person X was there, been building some stuff, had so much ideas that it became more and more difficult to actually say, let's quit this stuff and let's just move on to something else, right? Took a lot of time, which is a bit of a shame. And so, yeah, I'm still not going to say who Person X is. I'm just going to show what Person X plopped down, and maybe we will keep it a mystery forever. Oh man, this must have been so cool with the whole battlefield stuff going on. Yeah, but yeah, the summer took so much time that Person X at some point couldn't be bothered anymore because, you know, you only have this spark of, how can I say that, this momentum of joy and wanting to do something which doesn't last forever, right? You want to do it, because or else it's going to drain slowly but surely. So I do not blame Person X for that, which is okay. It's, long story short, my own fault. So let's move on to the next island. So finally, after the summer was kind of getting to chill down and I was being hardcorely busy with removing all of these trees, which took me an insane amount of time. Yes, some people offered help, but I needed to do some hardcore grinding and people get bored over time and I didn't want to spend time and on those people and on grinding. We finally started off building on this island. Wow. And honest, I didn't do it with joy because I needed to redo everything that I have already been doing before. I had to build the wall, and at some point I got bored. I've also been telling myself, you know, I cannot do another 20 episode building a wall. It needs to be done ASAP, and I wanted to build this castle afterwards. Now, the whole problem back then with the whole castle is I did a couple of attempts to make an episode actually, you know, trying to create the castle. Then I got frustrated because we only could use a mining tool because the ground is stone. And nowadays you can actually use shovels and pickaxes. They actually turned it on basically after I had another break with building the castle. And so at that point, when I started to actually build the castle and build like a little shopping street, I've been spending so much time, which I actually spent it on season 1, only I did 100 times more. I had 100 times more joy. I was never being frustrated. You guys have been involved so heavily that you guys were enjoying so much extra of it than you guys did here. Yes, you guys gave me some good suggestions. You guys gave me some good, like, you know, thumbs up on stuff that I've been building and gave me some more ideas. But yes, like I've been saying before, the more I want to do with Ylands, the more I try to shortcut things. There are no interior stuff really here any other than the bakery. I noticed I started to stop using certain items because it will take time to get. Saving time and not saving anything at all is basically what happened here. And this is basically, long story short, why I want to stop this nonsense, stop painting myself, stop painting you guys with it, and just start something different. Season 3 needs to be teamness less? How do you say that? Just all in, do whatever I want. I want to be free like a bird and just go crazy, go nuts. I want to involve you guys. I want to do the streams again with fun stuff. We're gonna do it in the editor. I only need to think how I'm going to do it because there is like a limited map. I do want to start with a whole new terrain. I want to shape whatever we're gonna do. And it's nice that we can actually have clear weather forever. That the time doesn't turn into night, which, you know, afterwards, for events, we could turn that on or off. And we can have some nice ambient sounds. We don't need any hunger. I just want to build. Oh yes, look at all of this terrain. It's ours. Can't wait to just mess around with glowing stuff. And maybe a tiny little bit of like scripting for whatever reason. And it's only a shame we cannot get this testing bar on top of the screen away. But I guess once we show stuff off, we can just do it like